Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Yes, I'm Biased, but Here's Why. I'm your host, Monique James. This is a podcast where we dive into polarizing topics and explore the things that influence how we feel about those topics. Dare I say, our own bias. So please, share, like, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Let's dive into today's topic. Back for part 2 of my conversation with my brother Greg June Robinson. We ended the first half with the question, what now? Let's dive in and hear the rest of Greg's journey.
So now I'm like, I go to you or Amanda?
From dad to
It was
Manda,
Amanda.
I think.
It was Amanda. It was
It was
Southwest.
Manda.
She was Southwest.
Yeah.
Um, so so I go to Amanda's from my dad's, and I think that's when that kind of knocked the cool out my wall. I think so. I'm not doing anything, but I'm still kind of like, hey nephew, how it going? Like people knew I was trying to get to the league. They knew I still had like agents talking to me, teams like talking. Obviously, they couldn't do anything but talking. So I still had that, I guess, notoriety, and that was at the time that was enough for me. I'm still on my way to successful. I think you told me one day this is a whole nother topic, not but you said we start talking about potential,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so I'm like, cool. I'm still on this track to success. And at this point, there is no other. It's NFL or nothing. My best friends at the time, like Danny Lansana was big bro. He with the Packers. Um, Darius Butler, second round pick, is with the Patriots, inviting me to come play basketball with Randy Moss. Tyvon Branch was out 2 years before me. He was with the Raiders. I think he got like the fourth or fifth fastest 40 time in the combine history. Like these are dudes who I'm having conversations with. These are dudes when I got questions about workouts or injuries or whatever. I'm called. My friends are all. Tyvon used to be like, they got him for cheap in the fourth round, but he was when he was a starting safety. I remember when he signed his $17 million contract, he called me like, get a ticket here. I'll pay for everything when you get here. Now this is success for me. And they not like throwing it in my face by no means, but conversations that we had in my old phone, I used to look at them. It was like motivation at first, and then it started making my stomach hurt later. I would get text messages like, "Come on, bro, they're giving out this money. These dudes are not messing with you." This dude from Georgia, Kashif Moore, was a receiver for the Steelers. They picked up some DN from Georgia. He said, "June, he's the same player as you." He telling me this, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to get to it." So there, at this point, there is no, it's NFL or nothing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Turned out to be nothing. I'm living in Southwest with Manda, the other sister. And I think I talked to you. You're like, all right, look, wait, no, back up. Oh, I was living with you because I was working in a mall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back up. Zoop, 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 zoop. I'm sleeping on your floor because I'm still a big dude. I don't want to body the couch. Sleeping on your floor till you go to work. Then I go get in your bed. Yeah, I would catch a bus or walk to work. I'm working in Macy's as a there was a really nice title like decoration coordinator or something, but I just pick stuff up and put stuff down when it was too heavy for the women. That's really what it was. Like, hang these lights, you don't need the ladder. And I'm like, okay. Um, and so I'm doing this. Okay, I get a call to go play arena ball in South Dakota. I'm like, all right, back on track. Fail. I'm like, I'm done. I remember the conversation. I'm done. My hamstring kept pulling. I wasn't right. You said, all right, if you're done and you really done, Strayer got openings. Don't tell nobody you my brother because I don't want you to get the job because you're my brother, and I don't want you to not get the job because you're my brother. So obviously the last name is different. Like just go in, do your thing. I'm prodded out, Prada belt, Prada shoes, church pants. So yeah, I met Strayer. I killed the interview. Um, and again, this is so now I got an office job where I got to wear a tie. This ain't the NFL, but it's like if I can work my way up, then cool. And then this is when I realized, like you said in the beginning, like the intro, that it's just not for me. When people, mind you, I'm from West Philly. I'm not the toughest guy. Uh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not about to shoot you. None of that. But it's a certain way I talk to people. Like I give respect, I demand it too. Like, and in the work field, like in corporate, these people think like, oh, like I sign your check so I can talk to you any type of way. Um, that was number one. Then number two is like, I don't really like new people. So I'm dealing with new people every day. So it's like, this is not a good mix. And it was a bunch of other little things, but I'm like, I think I'm 7 months there.
So let me
Uh,
pause you before
uh,
you finish it. So let me just say, we both were working at the same company. We worked at different campuses, so we never actually worked together. But to hear some of the stories of, and this wasn't coming from other people. This was literally just coming from you, that you would call. I remember one time you said, you said, I'm sure you'll get into this as it kind of leads into when you made a different decision, but
mm,
you, this is the kind of stuff that, just for the audience, this is the kind of stuff that Greg would say. He would call me and say, I'm sick of this box. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I'm thinking, like, is he talking about an existential box? He doesn't like being boxed in. He's like, no, this box. He used to call his cubicle the box.
yeah, this
So
that's crazy looking at these
he's
little
like,
gray walls.
I
There, but that's it. I was saying, yeah, that little gray box. So at this time, I don't have no kids. I don't have no student loan. So the little money Strayer was giving me is really, and I'm living with my sister. So yeah, she could get some money for rent. That's easy. And I still got plenty of like money, spending money. So I'm still catching flights to hang with the homies and then come back Monday morning and I'm back in the box. And I'm like, and then you still got these people that I'm working with. I don't like the environment. I don't like how some people, I would see a coworker come in and she been working here for 10 years and she hate it, but she can't quit because she needs
mm-hmm,
it. And I'm like, okay, before I get a kid, before I get a house, before I get this, and that, and I got to figure this out. Because at this point, I feel like, all right, I took a step back, but I'm still successful. I can work my way up from here as far as corporate, and this will just be it. Like this will be it. Let me try to make 80,000. Like that's this how I think at that time practice squad players were making 80 to 100,000. So I'm like, if I can make 80,000, then it would be the same. And I couldn't make 8 months. Uh, so I remember I'm in my box and I'm on Euro players, and this guy Pierre from France.
give a little bit more context. So to be clear, you were at work in your
Yeah,
cubicle
yeah.
online on Euro players. So
Euro players.
explain to the people what that is.
Euro players is basically similar to LinkedIn for athletes. Mostly football players, American football players. There's some basketball and soccer, but basically what you do is there are teams from Europe go on there and they can tell you what they're looking for. Me as a player, I can upload my film, upload my resume. I went to this school, I played for this team, I play this position. Here are my numbers, and then it's just you find a team. You find a team who, if you play running back, you find a team who needs a running back. Obviously, they have a list of running backs, and you just hope they pick you. I at the time know nothing about because before this I thought I was just way too good. I was trying to get in the NFL. No way I'm going to Europe to play.
For anybody who is less familiar with the difference between professional American football and then American football in Europe, it's not even comparable in terms of level of competition, level of athlete, level of pay. But
Yeah,
American football, NFL is the pinnacle, and so this is what you were chasing, and then you had determined within yourself, like, I'm not going to Europe to play
yeah.
when I was chasing this pinnacle. Like, I was good enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about. Oh, I think that's what you were talking about, just this mindset shift. So keep going.
Yeah. I guess I can thank Strayer for knocking like whatever. I'll take the worst of the worst to get out of here. Um, and it was that. So I'm talking to this guy Pierre Miramont in France, and for a month he wouldn't accept my yes. He was like, "But you play here, and you were trying to do that. You sure you want to come here?" I thought all of like I was an ignorant American, which is we might have to do a part two. This is a whole nother thing. all of
Mhm.
Europe is just the same, like it's just Europe. Um,
Mhm.
there are different levels here. So like at the time, France was, let's say, bottom, and other different countries, Germany, Spain, whatever. And then in France, there are 3 or 4 levels. So Division 1 is the top level, 2, 3. I was the worst level on the worst, like in the worst country. So my
Mhm.
first contract, he said, but I can't pay you. Like I'll give you 50 euros. So you 50 euro. I'll give you $60 a month, but I'll pay for everything. At that time, I'll never forget. It was November. We got paid 3 times in November. I said, look, let me come after I get my third paycheck. And he said, for a month. He told me no. He was like I really want you, but the reason he said no, he couldn't afford to pay for my flight, my bags, everything. I get there, I see what it is, and then say I want to go home. He couldn't afford to do that. So he's like, are you sure? Like, talk to this guy here, talk to this. And I'm like, look, I want to come. So I get there, and France might have been one of the dopest experiences I've ever had. The football was horrible. I practiced on like dirt. Mind you, I'm coming from a Division 1 school. I need new cleats. I've worn these twice. My jersey, there's a thread hanging out, and then I get a whole new jersey. Like, this is what I'm coming from. And here it's like they work during the day. They have a family and they practice once a week. This is their hobby. They actually pay to play. I like that, the fun part of it, the living life, the like, now I'm traveling. When would I have gone to France? Never. Um, I've offered to buy friends and family tickets. My cousin told me, what would I come to France for? And I'm like, bro, just get out of Philly. Come on. So this is what I come from, and then I come to France, and this mindset of this is beneath me. On the football field it was, but the experience, I could have never thought about it. Like my NFL friends who today are retired are still like, yo, I'm retired now. I'm ready to come out there. They've been ready to come for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years because they see and they hear how much fun and how nice it is. The difference of 17 million versus a couple thousand is huge, but they want that experience. Man, he was in Germany, he was in France and Spain and Italy. You lived in Rome, bro? And I'm like, yeah, like that's really it. So yeah, thanks to Strayer, I needed to get out of that. Um, and so now it put me in a spotlight. I think I'm 25 at the time, and I'm like, this is it. I can do this. I can play. And then I feel like I'm back in that college, like everything is simple, no real life struggles. I'm back to that. So I'm back in my comfort zone. So just to speed it up, I went France, Spain, Sweden, Italy, and then now Finland. I mean, I've been here for a really long time, 4 or 5 years.
This has been, it's amazing just to hear, to hear the journey. I think it's really interesting to hear that a full-time job with benefits and an okay salary
Mm-hmm.
was for you the bottom. It
Yeah,
was the place that was like, I have to get out of here.
yeah.
Um, and I think that speaks to really what I wanted to get at, which is for many people, that life, that is the life. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
every 2 weeks, I get this amount of money for sure, as long as I just go to work and do what I'm supposed to do. You weren't even in a role because you were working in the business office, you weren't even in a position that required you to like sell or required you to enroll people. It wasn't even a situation where you had quotas. You basically just needed to do things the right way, to work with people, to help people finalize the financial part of their
Mm-hmm.
enrollment. That was it. And
No,
go
thank you.
home and then do it again every day. And for a lot of people, that was it. It was like, what you mean? I could do this over and over. They can pay me over and over, and if I want to advance, I can just do a good job and do that too. Yes, I'll take it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
so interesting to hear you say like that was the bottom for me. I cannot be in this box. And so this idea that the box for you was physical, but it was a figurative box as well.
Yeah.
So it was a literal box, but it was a figurative box as well. When you were just like, I can't do it.
Mhm. Definitely. It was that feeling of, okay, I hate working out, right? I don't like going to the gym. But even in school, even now, it's like, oh, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, let me go to this gym. Hurry up and knock it out so I can get on with my day. Waking up to like, can I call out? Do I have sick days?
Hmm.
Do I,
Hmm.
that was I didn't I like, and again that money at the end of every 2 weeks was still like, it's not for me. Like it was, don't get me wrong, it was good. I could put gas in my car. Oh, we going out for drinks. I got this round, bros. Like that felt good. But like I said, I seen these, and I think if I hadn't seen the other things, these people who've been there for 10 and 12 years, 15 years, and they look, when I look bad, not like them, like the way they look, but it's just like, and then I think about it like, yeah, I don't like this. This is month 4. Imagine year 2,
Hmm.
year
Hmm.
5, year
Yeah.
10. No way. Dragging myself in here, like knowing it's never ending, like nothing has changed. And I think this is, I guess it's a side note. Um, I think part of like kind of what shaped how I am, if you think about, so I'm 12 when I leave, 12 to 19, I'm in Scotland, 19 to 20 something, I'm in Connecticut. Then I moved to Atlanta to train. Then I moved back. Like I was never in one place. So to the idea of, okay, got the job, settle
Hmm.
in. That
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
crazy to me. That
Hmm.
was nerve wracking. Like I haven't even been in an apartment for a year. I moved across the street. Like my apartment last year, I can throw a football and I can hit my apartment. I just didn't want it. Like it's crazy to me to be in the same spot for another year.
Hmm.
I need to
Hmm.
change. So to have my whole life sitting in a box, no way, can't do it. Um, so yeah, I'm here, and it's like there are definitely struggles. By no means am I like sitting eating lobster every day, but there are points where it's like, and as again, this is a whole nother topic. When we talk about worries, I'm worried here. The liquor store closes at 9 o'clock, and I get out of practice at 8:50. How am I going to make it? Like, that's my worry. That's my worry. I got stopped the other day. It was my fault. I think I called you and told you about it. I was on a train. I didn't have a ticket. They stopped me. Cops got called. I wasn't scared. I wasn't. I was wrong, and I was still arguing. Um,
Hmm.
this again is just a whole different topic, but yeah, we know at home I'm not doing. I'm not doing it, and I could be right. Um, I
Right.
remember in Spain. I don't know if you remember this. 2 days before I left for Spain, 2 dudes tried to rob me, and I seen them, and I kind of like maneuver. This when I was living with Uncle Wu,
In West Philly. Yeah, I remember that.
and
Yep.
I'm like, tried to rob me. I'm coming from the store, and I know I would have got shot because I ain't had no money on me. I had just went and got a hoagie, so I know they would have hit me because I ain't had nothing on me. They get mad when you don't got nothing. Like, sorry, if I knew I was gonna get robbed, I'd have brought more out. Uh, but these are my worries. I remember this is off topic, but this is just to give you like a Track called me. Uncle Track called me on Facebook. Uh, and I was outside and I had my hood on and I had headphones on. He was livid. He was pissed. Boy, what you doing? And I'm like, what's up? I'm like, walking home. He's like, you got your hood on and headphones. You can't hear nobody coming up on you. And in my head, I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't have that worry. Like, don't worry. If they run up on me, it's because I dropped my wallet and they're giving it back to me.
Hmm.
Like these are the worries. These are the things, and I'm not even joking.
Hmm.
My boy lost his passport. They found him on Facebook and like brought it to him from an hour away. Like these are the things that I'm dealing with now. So like, yeah, I have worries. You, as you know, I call you and cry about it, but the worries are so different. I don't care about. everybody wants more money. I want more money, but I don't need to make 200,000, 300,000 to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm comfortable. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just for me. And now it's like I'm definitely not satisfied. I don't feel like I'm successful right now, but I feel like it's definitely in reach. It's not the 1% because trying to get to the NFL, that's the 1%, right? Like
Right.
it was possible, but these things that I have in front of me now that I'm trying to do is like oh, this can happen in the next 2 months. This can happen as soon as this phone call comes in. I know this is going to happen, and I can still. Mo, what you doing? You need what? How much is your car note? Say less. I got it. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
still like my way to what I originally set out to being successful was just I'm in Finland. I'm in Helsinki right now. Like, and my plan to what I'm working on. Yeah, I will have obviously depending on COVID, but being able to fly to the States for 2, 3 weeks and then fly back for a month and two and have that relationship. Yeah, that's it's doable. It's like
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it's like success. If I would have stopped just when yeah, call your sister, see if you can stay over there. Then yeah, who knows what I would be doing right now. But I'm not where I want to be. I haven't hit where I want to be, but I've been close and it feels good. You know what I mean? So like that that grind is like, yeah, I need it.
Wow.
Mm,
So, I think initially when we started talking about this, when I told you I had launched the podcast and I wanted to have a conversation with you, you have other friends that are there in Finland with you, and you said, well, we'll bring in this guy and this guy too,
mm,
and that didn't work out. Just the timing, scheduling didn't work
mhm,
out, and here we are recording, and I'm like, there was no room for those other guys, and I'm so happy. Like, no, I mean, like, I'm so happy that this worked out. I'm so glad that I'm gonna be able um to share Greg a little bit, because one thing that's funny is he wasn't joking when he said he doesn't like new people. He is Greg and I are very much alike. So we grew up in our family of four: my mom, me, my sister Amanda, and Greg. And how we grew up, um, what's true about us in terms of our temperaments and personalities. Greg and I are more alike. My mom and Amanda are more alike. So they are very social. Now, Greg is a social person. Like, he can be social in
mm,
certain spaces, but he does not. It's kind of like me. I can be social as well, but if I'm given the choice, I don't want to be around new people. Um, and I've gotten over it just because, my line of work. I've also found that some new relationships that I've gained have been really impactful in my life and positive and all of that. But it's still not going to be my first choice. It's just kind of how we are. We're just a little bit more internal than my mom and my sister. But we don't talk. So we talk a lot. If you listen to everything that Greg was saying, it's like, I talk to you about this and I talk to you about this.
yeah.
He calls me all the time when he's thinking about making decisions and all of that, which is awesome for me. Um, and so we do
Or
talk a lot. Go
or
ahead.
if I need to know what hand you wipe with, because I didn't know I was doing it wrong.
What?
You
What?
remember that? I didn't know. So my dad, we could blame him again. I didn't know I was supposed to wipe front to back. I was wiping back to front. I didn't know I was wrong until my friends laughed at me and called me poop nuts.
Oh my god.
So I had to call you and see if they were lying. And I asked, "How do you wipe?" Yeah,
Oh gosh. Your friends called you what?
poop nuts. I was wiping back to front.
I can't. Okay. Yep. So that is actually quite indicative of our relationship. He'll call me and ask me like very serious questions. He'll talk to me about the women that he's dating and all of that stuff. Um, and then he'll call me and ask me about wiping his butt. So
Yeah,
it
definitely.
runs the gamut. But my point being, we talk so much, but some of what you talked about in this episode, I didn't know.
Mm.
Some of it, just in terms of your mindset and your thinking, I didn't know. But what's awesome to know is that you have your drum. I think I said before, you march to the beat of your own drum.
Mhm.
And what's most important is that the beat just keeps going. And that sometimes it's up tempo, sometimes it slows down, sometimes it's Caribbean beat, sometimes it's more hip hop, like, you know what I mean, like whatever it
Yeah.
is, it's still yours in that moment. And it can be Caribbean beat for you, it could be a Caribbean beat in the middle of a classical room. Like, Greg
I'm
is
with it.
going to be who Greg is.
Facto.
And I also want to correct you on one thing before we get out of here.
What
You
happened?
said very early in this episode, you said, I'm not the toughest guy. Listen, Greg is not a guy who's going to, like, show up with a gun and to try to intimidate somebody. He's not that guy. He's not gangsters. He's none of that. But when I
Mm-mm.
tell you you don't want to mess with this guy, please don't. And more specifically, don't mess with his family or other people who he deems as defenseless. This guy
Yeah.
has gotten into altercations with with people because they were accosting or bothering women at a bar. He knows the woman? No. Doesn't matter. He shouldn't
But
be
that's
doing
because of
that.
y'all though. Like, you know what I'm saying? If and maybe I would just be like hey, that's messed up. He grabbed her whole boob. But I know if I'm like, dang, if that's Mo or that's my 16-year-old niece right now, then yeah, just you got different issues. So yeah, that's when I said that. Like, I'm not the toughest dude. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not a bully or nothing like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I get busy with whoever if they deserve it.
You
That's
also
that's
really do hate bullies.
I
Uh
really really do.
yeah. That's what happened at Strayer when you stood up to the director, the
Yeah.
campus director,
Mhm.
because he came into. You say he came into a woman that you worked with. He's like stood into her box in a real intimidating way
Yeah.
to try and get
Yeah.
her to do something, and you
I,
stood up and was like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that."
I know it was uh HR or whoever hadn't okayed uh overtime.
Uh
So
huh.
he was like, yeah, I know you worked 1,000 hours over, just like leave early this week sometimes or come in a little late.
Hmm.
Um, she didn't want that. And yeah, he was trying to bully her. I'm like, no, no, no. Because again, if it's my sister, my niece, my mom, like I can't really just sit and let you like do that. So yeah, but that was he knew, and like I said, because he was wrong, I ain't really getting like trouble, but I was definitely on the poo poo list at that point. Like, this guy
Yeah.
thinks he's special.
Yeah. But I mean, that's Greg. That's always been you. Um, and make no mistakes about it, Greg is a Robinson.
Mhm.
And if you don't know, if you're from West Philly, you know who the Robinsons are. Um, and there's access to whatever needs to go down. I do
Yeah.
my best to keep myself out of situations that Greg would have to find out and make a call from Finland to Philly. With this, we're not going to do that. So
Yeah, that's
um, there's so much stuff that you talked about. Even the idea that or the reality that your concerns in Europe are just different. Your existence in Europe is different.
heck
Um,
yeah.
and so I think it would be cool to talk about that some more. And I think we definitely have to do a part two because we have run so long. But I loved
Yeah.
every minute of it. And I know you've
I'm
got to
with it.
get to practice soon.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
I'm getting dressed now. It's good. I hope I
yeah,
wasn't messing up the sounds and stuff, but yeah, it's
it's all
good.
good. So tell the people. I know you're not a big social media guy, but if you want people to be able to follow you, let them know where they can follow you.
Nope. It's okay. No worries.
That is Greg. That is Greg. That's him.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining me as my first guest. It's a great conversation.
That's
And I'm
dope.
sure
That's
I'll
an
have you
honor.
back.
When this
Yeah,
joint blow up, I'm gonna be the, you know what I'm saying? The first one, huh?
awesome. Well, have a great practice. Do not hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And do not embarrass your defensive coordinator because he's new and he
Oh.
doesn't know things. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Sure enough.
All right, bro. Love you.
All right, later.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye.
Now, granted, Greg was a Division One athlete, which is a completely different experience from most people in college, but still, nothing about the college process prepared him to make decisions that were different from the traditional path. College isn't this miracle pill that you take and then everything's fine and you find success and you do well and you make a lot of money. It just doesn't work that way. And so I wish that we would reframe how we think about and talk about college, especially because of the amount of debt that one can incur trying to chase a dream that we are told can only come from attending college. And to be clear, I'm not anti-college. I'm just biased against the way we talk about it. As if you must go to college in order to accomplish anything meaningful. That's simply not true. So I think we need to reframe how we present it as a choice, especially to kids who are coming out of high school, because there are a lot of different paths to take that can lead you to success. You can find success just like Greg did, following the things that make you happy. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Yes